And from beliefs comes an ideology. And from an ideology comes laws that the group that has shared attitudes, shared beliefs, common ideology, accept to live by certain laws, and they become a national community, but no land. So now, we have been, I'm speaking now of the nation, under Elijah Muhammad. If you look at Elijah Muhammad's ministry, some of his greatest ministries, will start with Malcolm X, Lucius Diaz, Isaiah Kareem, Jeremiah Shabazz, John Shabazz on the West Coast. A lot of men that heard his teaching went into colleges and taught, universities, prisons, but the people didn't just jump up, as a brother of mine said the other day, and say, aha, that they were willing to accept the oneness of God and then suffer as a result of it, but the teaching turned them on. See, one of the things I like about the sun, you see, the sun does not change you. It just brings out what you do. Islam is like the sun in that if you shine that light, the light is going to affect everyone that comes under it, and they'll go this way, that way, up or down. The whatever is in starts manifesting. But the presence of light is necessary to start a revolution. Not the presence of a gun, but the presence of light. Are we clear on that? Now, what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad brought to us was a light for us. But it was a light mixed with darkness, because it was the dawn of light. Don't worry about that. We're just trying to get some air. Keep your focus. Unless they call in. It was the dawn of light. And if you've ever been up early enough to watch the sun rise, you first see light. You don't see the sun. You see the light behind the darkness of night. And you know that day is about to break, but the sun is not in view yet, but there's the presence of light. Light, then, when it strikes you, it does not harm you, because your eye, after sleeping through the night, must not come forcefully into the light. It's gradual. That's the way the Holy Quran was revealed. Degree by degree, because a merciful God would not permit you to have the brightness of the light when you have been in the dark for so long. So light was mixed with darkness, and as the sun constantly began to rise, the darkness gradually disappeared, and the beauty of the light was present. Now, that's the way Islam came to America through Master Farad Muhammad and the the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, it was the dawn of light, but it was light mixed with the darkness of the night of our 400 years of mental death, our 6,000 years of mental death, and our 50,000 years from being Haru. So the process of growth is slow, but it's under God's divine control. Now, you and I, who were Muslims, we call ourselves Muslims. When Brother Malcolm left the nation, we disagreed with Malcolm. We didn't like Brother Malcolm anymore. Right? But light was growing. Malcolm went out from the nation, and a whole group of persons came up under the light that he represented. And they're still coming up under that light. Now watch how God is forming a nation. I'm almost there. In the 60s, when Martin Luther King was assassinated and 100 cities were set on fire, white people formed a commission from the president to find out who ordered this. What leader was responsible for 100 cities set on fire and we could kill this nigga with nothing? And what they found was a shared attitude and a system of belief and an ideology developing among black people that was making us into a national community. How do you know? Because our brother was shot in Memphis and a fire started in Detroit, in Cleveland, in LA, in Boston, in other places. Well, what tied us together like that? Everything that white folks were doing to black people was on TV. You were watching in Chicago, I was watching in New York, somebody watching in Boston, somebody watching in Atlanta, and we were watching white folks put fire holes and dogs on us. And we had a shared attitude about it. And we had a shared belief about the white folks that were doing that. And we didn't agree with Dr. King that we were going to turn some other cheek. We was more in agreement with Malcolm and Honorable Elijah Muhammad, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, and if you kill my dog, I'll kill your cat, your rat, and your mama. So now the stuff is on. See, from Malcolm, listen, from Malcolm now, the Panthers formed. From Malcolm, a ballot or a bullet, a political reality formed. But that's because the light from Elijah was sparking an awakening, and people were doing what they thought would liberate us. So it looked like we were all divided and scattered, but we were born into a nation within a nation. Now yesterday, I was blessed because Dr. Conrad Worrell asked if I would use my good office to call together the people who are involved in the struggle for reparations. And at the Salam restaurant, nearly 50 people in these organizations came together to discuss their effort toward reparations. Whether you know it or not, in city councils across the country, many city councils have said and voted for black people receiving reparations. It's now going to the state level, and Congressman John Conyers has introduced legislation in Congress to study reparations for what has happened to black people. Now, the reparations movement in Cobra is not the Nation of Islam. Oh yes, it is. See, you see the nation as a mosque. For some people saying La ilaha illallah, the nation is black people with dreadlocks, with bald heads, with beards, with short dress, with long dress, or no dress. The nation is hip-hop. The nation is all of us, but being formed into something that we have no idea where this thing is going.